Let me start with CRM because CRM is what every general partner needs when they start their business. First, you're gonna create a website, okay? And you can let us know how we can help with the website as well. We don't do the website, but we can easily, take you to Squarespace or Wix that you can create a website very easily. But once you have a website, you need what's called a lead capture form to embed it on your website. And then so someone can sign up and embed it, and then they can, that's how you get additional investors. The way you do that is you go to contacts and you click on lead capture form. Then you can say, I'm gonna embed a free ebook on my website. That's what that looks like. You can drag and drop. You can create this form however you like. Okay. And then you take this link and then you embed it on your website. Here, I'm not embedding it on my website. I'm simply just pasting that link. That's what that looks like. But if it's part of your website, it's asked if this is part of your website. And so for example, let's do say outro here and then do and then put some number here and then do Perry plus this, okay, and catch up for a interested prospective investor is going to put their like free ebook, okay, for example. And these questions you can ask them anything you like, okay. Go ahead and submit it. So at this point, the prospective investor submitted their lead capture form. As a GP, you are going to see that contact show up right here, right? And so this came in with the phone number, came in with the sample tag, came in with the lead capture form. You click on it. You can do all kinds of things. You can say, I know this person, they are accredited. I know them since last week, since we met at the conference, okay? And I'm gonna add a note, let's say, met them at a conference right here. And then I will set myself a reminder to reach out to them in about a couple weeks, okay? So you can do that. Then because they came through the lead capture form, you also know some of the answers to some of these questions. Then you can say, who referred them? Maybe someone else on my team referred them. Maybe Jesus referred them as an example. Then maybe this person referred them and they referred them here. Real estate is a very relationship-driven business, and we build all of that into as a first-class citizen. This is a very typical CRM. Now, it gets better. When you get to the email part, what else can you do? You can say, I'm going to create a drip campaign. So you can create a drip campaign and say, all these people 5 days later going to send them another email. You can do that. And then all this drip campaign is very, very fancy. So, and then like 7 days later, you send them another email. What emails are you going to send? All of you are in the raising capital business. So we are a real estate specific CRM. So we have these called LP nurturing templates. Things you might say, how to understand K1 as a passive investor, our company values, our predictions about the market, what are the best areas to invest in, what are the cap rates for commercial real estate, what does cap rate even mean, what is our investment philosophy, what is a passive investing, why is that advantageous for you. We actually wrote these templates to get started. And so you can just use any one of those templates, if that makes sense. So if you create an email and you say, okay, how do I create an email? Here's how you create an email. We have a beautiful drag and drop email. So the emails are two parts. There is kind of the operating, there are like transactional emails, meaning once you have a syndication and you have to send out monthly updates, then there's a second type of email, which are marketing emails, LP nurturing emails. Okay, we can do both. And they are in this beautiful kind of drag and drop template. The way it works is that, let's talk about monthly updates. It gets a little bit better when you're doing monthly updates. On a monthly basis, you will have to report to your investors how your property is doing. So I'm going to drag and drop this KPIs. KPI stands for key performance indicators. These things include like your occupancy rate, your property tax, your total income, total expenses. You enter these into Cash Portal. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to create a chart of other income versus other income budgeted. And the chart will automatically show up in your monthly update. For those of you who have invested passively before, you will have been receiving these emails coming from Cash Portal. It's very easy to generate them. And that's the point, is that these emails are not normally, if you don't have a good software, then what happens is that you have to generate them by hand. But because now it's all integrated technology, these numbers can be generated, you can get charts very easily. Because we have these KPIs generated, you literally just drag and drop this AI summary, and then you can say, I have all my numbers in here. ChatGPT, why don't you write me a paragraph about the financials for last month? And then we will ask ChatGPT to use the numbers that are specific to your property. And then the numbers will have your numbers. Like the paragraph will have your numbers on it. So these numbers are specific to this deal. So what is it doing? It's using the numbers, the KPIs associated with your property, and then your monthly updates. You can use ChatGPT to write those paragraphs that are specific to your property. So what we're trying to do is to make the monthly updates super easy to write. All right. So this is so what have we covered? We cover you need a website. You need a lead capture form. The lead capture form then goes into a drip campaign, and then within the context, you can take notes, you can do follow-ups, and then you can obviously do marketing emails on them. The marketing emails you can drag and drop, you can create fancy photos and so on. Then once you have a deal, you need to do monthly communications with your investors. And with the monthly communications, you can add key performance indicators to your deal, and then those numbers will automatically become charts, and then you can use AI to draft most of that email to send to your investor. You can still edit it, but at least we write the first version for you. So that is on the CRM side. Any questions so far before I go on further? Does that make sense to folks?
That's brilliant. Seriously, it's brilliant.
It makes sense, and this is very streamlined and awesome. Love it. Yeah.
And then
Harry, I think we have a question. Puresa, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, I had a question based on the information. As you insert charts and information, email, like say captures, is there a backup system for any person that goes in there and accidentally erases the information?
Oh, good question. If they accidentally erase, there is a backup, and we also like warn you like 20 times. Are you sure you want to delete this? You have to type the word delete before you can delete. So there's no, usually they don't accidentally delete something. That's right.
Okay,
so
thank you.
When you enter here is based on here, right? This is April 2023, but you get the idea. Great question. Awesome. Let's move on. So that was the first section, which is the CRM. Oh yeah, one more question, Melody. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to know, like, I recently like paid this enormous amount of money to Engager. They're going to design my website and CRM. But so if I've already got that, that's going to be created soon. How can is there a way to dovetail or streamline with what you have? I mean, I don't think I'd need another I don't think I'd need another website, but how can I take advantage of, I guess, your portal with having my own website and CRM?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will send you this link first, okay? Anyone can schedule a follow-up call. In your case, the website that you have is actually accurate because we actually don't help design a website. So website, you can keep paying for it. That's fine. What we are saying is we can integrate with your website with the lead capture form. So it's actually perfect that way. Now,
yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they also have a lead capture form of some sort.
Right.
But if they do have if they have all of that, but is there a way does your software also include part of that palace?
Yes. So I will to answer your question, life often gives you many choices, and then you have to kind of like navigate what's the best setup. Every website, almost by definition, has to give a CRM because they are trying to expand their business as well. But the problem using that CRM is that eventually you need an investor portal, and no website will give you an investor portal. Okay.
Right. So is there a way to combine that website and CRM? I'm sorry. Yeah. Is there a way to combine that with your investor portal and put the two together? Can they work together? Yeah. Can they talk to each other is what I mean.
There are two choices. First choice is that you use integration that allows you to connect with our CRM with their CRM. But you have to pay for this, what's called Zapier integration, and we have that. The second choice is it's a sunk cost, meaning that once you have the website, you don't have to use that website CRM and use Casual Portal CRM. And the benefit of that is that every website also allow you to integrate whoever else's CRM into it, right? So for example, if I use Squarespace as my website, there's no way I said I have to use Squarespace's CRM. I can use HubSpot, I can use Casual Portal, I can use ActiveCampaign, I can use MailChimp, I can use any one of those things, and they will also integrate very well.
Gotcha.
And I highly recommend that you use Casual Portal. Actually, I even recommend use anything but Squarespace because Squarespace is not meant to be a CRM. They are meant to be a website builder.
Oh, okay. Do you know anything about Engager.ai? Have you worked with them before? I mean,
Melody, I can answer that for you on a separate call between a few of the other MFM students as well. I don't think Perry
Okay.
knows too much about Engager.
Not too much about Engager, but I
Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, sounds good. But thank you for answering my question. I appreciate that.
I most likely I think it's built on top of high level. I assume. Okay, cool. And we 100% integrate with high level. All right, so let's get into the next phase, which is the LP experience. So when the LP needs to invest, the way you go about it is you set up the deal on Casual Portal, and you send your LPs a single link. And this link contains everything they need to know about the deal. So they have the projected returns for different classes. You have a webinar recording. You have about the offering. You have the terms and fees. You have debt financing. Now, if you don't want to put these numbers, these sections just won't show. It's highly customizable. At the bottom, you see documents, market details, and asset details. The LP can invest through their phone directly, and so that's very powerful. As a LP, I'm going to click on invest now. And so at this point, the LP goes into what's called the investment funnel. In the investment funnel, the LP say, well, I want to invest, and I'm going to choose which type of profile I'm going to invest with. I can invest as an individual, an IRA, joint tenancy, or LLC. Let me click into LLC, and then let me just type in LLC like this, Auto LLC. Cool, click on the class, and then I'm going to choose the class B that has a minimum of $50,000 investment. Click on next. While that's going on, let me just come back here. I want to say something here. The way you look at Casual Portal, by the way, is the hub is where the LPs and GPs go. GPs go there to administer their investors. LP go there to see their documents, sign documents, receive their K1s, and get their distributions, and maybe update their bank account. You might say, well, how does legal counsel and CPA work? Legal counsel will provide the legal documents. The CPA will get the information from the portal to generate the K1s, but then the K1s also need to be imported into Casual Portal. So we are the central hub that connects all these vendors. Does that make sense? So people might ask, hey, Perry, are you a CPA? We are not a CPA, but CPA use us to get information to generate K1s, and they also use Casual Portal to upload K1s so that they can be shared with the investors. Right. So let me go back here. So at this point, on the second step, investment amount. Let me put in $75,000 of investment. And then as an LP, I can wire the money, or I can connect with the bank to directly fund the $75,000 investment. That's very powerful because the LP never actually has to leave Casual Portal to do anything else, right? So I'm gonna choose wire transfer, but they can also just connect Plaid through their bank to their bank, and then fund the 75,000 right there and then. The next step is the CPA do all these documents, and then the LP needs to sign them. And we made it super easy for the LPs to sign. We digitalized the investor questionnaire. Okay, we made them into HTML form. Some of you are doing an LP investment right now, and you may think that this is way easier because we made these questions super easy to understand. For example, when you're doing a file 6B, which is require a substantive relationship between the LP and the GP, if they put say NA, not applicable, we actually tell them, hey, this is not a valid response. Right? This is good because you don't get these corrupted documents that you need to return it back to the investor anyway, right? So that's very useful. That means all the signatures that you get from the LPs after they sign, you make sure that the answers are actually correct. And we provide all these checks and balances to make sure that these answers are compliant. Accreditation, same thing. Then next one is entity type. When you are making an investment, you also have to fill out a tax form. We digitalize the tax form. So for example, I'm investing as a partnership, and actually I'm investing as a LLC, but then the LLC has a LLC tax classification. I am partnership within that LLC. I can actually also be a C Corp or S Corp. So we understand all the nuances of all these things such that we provide the right answers, and then the LP will answer accordingly. Then finally, you'll click on sign up. The magic happens here where you get the legal documents again from the legal counsel, and then we provide the LP specific questionnaires. Then depending on LP's answers on those form, we will pre-populate your legal document with their answers. This is a very important point because all of these answers, by the time they get to the legal document, they are pre-populated. For example, 75,000 is pre-populated, 75 units is even pre-populated, EIN is even pre-populated. If you don't do it this way, what will happen? It will be that they will go to this legal document, very, very daunting, and they have to put in address like 5 different times. And then sometimes they made a typo, and if they made a typo, they have to start all over again because you have to notify the document. And whereas this way is almost all the information is pre-populated. When you are raising money, time is of the essence. You always treat your investment funnel like a sales funnel. The easier that sales funnel, the more money you're going to raise. The more frictional that sales funnel, the more likely the LPs are, this is too difficult. Let me do something else and get back to it. They may never get back to it. A lot of times when you're raising money, it's in the summer and the LPs are busy. They are taking vacations. They're like, I couldn't complete it that evening, so I'm going to go on the Caribbean and I'll be back in a month. But you're trying to close a deal. So the easier this funnel is, the more money you're going to raise. All right. Again, on the W-9 form, you can see the W-9 form is pre-populated. Yeah, the EIN number is pre-populated. So at this point, all the LP needs to do is click on continue. I agree. And then bingo, they have signed the documents. If they need to do some accreditation stuff, they can also upload their accreditation letter or directly connect with a third-party accreditation service for a third-party verification. So I'm just gonna do a letter for now, and then bingo, in less than 3 minutes, I'm able to sign all my documents. All right, so I see a lot of questions coming in, and then let me see, let me read through some questions here. And then if you have questions, go ahead and raise your hand or whatnot.
I think that's very powerful to getting the investor subscription, because we did that through another investor portal, Syndication Pro, and it was a bit of a headache. Had to do it multiple times. The documents weren't loading, and then we had to go in and verify themselves like multiple times as well. And then I think streamlining all this is pretty great. We do have some people that are also in doing asset management, so I wanted to see how that integrates. Or how this can help them as well on the asset management side at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. All right. So let's talk about the asset management part. When you are asset managing, the way it works is you can go to the KPIs, and then you can create a KPI collection. And then within the KPI collection, you can update your KPIs. So these KPIs are CapEx, cash flow, debt service, and so on. These are arbitrary. You can add whatever you want to be. And then you can add a date, and then you can add a new KPI. So for example, I'm going to add a new KPI. And then for example, these are the things that we have. But then you can also say pre-lease, like for example, pre-lease occupancy, pre-lease units. Let's do that, pre-lease unit. And then the KPI is a number, and then I'm gonna create a budget KPI here. So at this point, I add it, and then every month you can have your asset manager or you can have your property manager updating those numbers. You can copy and paste them, or in the very shortly, there is a button that you can just upload a spreadsheet that we can auto-populate for them. But it's easy enough to just auto-populate them because you can actually copy a column of numbers and then just paste it, and automatically paste into the whole column. So it's actually very, very trivial to copy and paste. All right, cool. All right, so I have one of the questions here. So that's one asset managing. Let's talk about the other part of the asset managing. A lot of times when you're doing asset managing, you actually have to do what's called distributions. Distributions are very, very easy on Cashflow Portal. The way it works is you want to set up your hurdles. So basically, you want to set up these hurdles. For example, you can set up, I want let's say, let me show you in a second right here. So this is how it works. I want to say I have 2 classes. The mezzanine class gets a 12% fixed. Then class B gets an 8% cash and cash. Then it's a 70-30 split until class B gets a 15% IRR. And then it becomes a 50-50 split thereafter. So you can set up that complex waterfall. Why is that complex waterfall useful? Because when it's time to doing distributions, it's a click of a button, and then we will calculate how much investor is owed how much distribution.
There's a question in here says, does everyone have their own login? How can I trust a property manager, either my login into update info if my investor personal info isn't there too?
Yeah, great question. And so that's one question. Let me answer that question. So good question. Let's talk about membership permissions. If you go to my company and then go to members, So you can add people to your company. So everyone start with a company, and then the company, you can add as many members as you want. And then with different members, you can say, do I want them to be a company admin, or do I want them to be a company member? And then you also say, do these people need to see investor sensitive information, or do they cannot see the sensitive information? So we have that granularity of permission. That's on the company level. So you can add your virtual assistant to this company, no problem. Then it gets better. Deal by deal basis, you can add who are called co-sponsors. And these co-sponsors, for example, I can add them as a co-sponsor, I can add them as a CPA, team staff, or as an admin sponsor. The co-sponsors is a very powerful thing that it's a very important role. They help raise some of the money, and they also do some asset management, but most time they just help bring in the capital. And co-sponsors have their own branding. They use their own logo, their own CRM. So, and then every time when you are asking for investments, each co-sponsor has a unique link they can send to their own investors. Why is that useful? That's useful because the people that go through that link will only end up in the co-sponsor's CRM and nobody else's CRM. Then the co-sponsor can say, well, I don't want my lead sponsor to see my investors' email addresses. Then my investors should not end up in the lead sponsor's CRM because they technically belong to me, right? And so as a result, you can do that on Cashflow Portal because the co-sponsor has their own logo, own link, own branding. When it's time to come to sending emails, it gets even more powerful. On a monthly basis, an email will be sent about this project, but this deal has multiple members on it. There are multiple co-sponsors on it. But check this out. We have a concept of interception. So the co-sponsor can intercept the email that's sent by the lead sponsor and say, you know what, I want to change the wording of this paragraph because my investors don't even know what's a K1. Let me explain the K1 first before we talk to them about text documents. So you can see the invariant is the following. Your investors need to know one person, and that person is usually whoever brought that investor in, which is the co-sponsor. It's called the selected sponsor. And so we provide a very nice separation of branding, separation of permissioning between the lead sponsor and the co-sponsors. Right? Cool. So thank you, Barbara. Let's see.
We have a quick question for you on here. Are these extra features at the company level available for a flat fee, or is it tiered pricing based on needs?
So we take the approach of no tier pricing. So there's no way that you come in and be like, oh, if I pay a little bit, then I don't have certain features. We don't do that. Basically, you get the same amount of features at the $1 million raise versus the $400 million raise. You have the same set of features. Now it's just with the $400 million raise, those customers have like pretty complex workflows which we support. For example, they things like, you know, on a typical offering. Let me give you, it gets actually really complex. To give you an example, you have things like hard commitment, meaning that the investors have put down a 10% down payment in order to secure that, and then they can invest the rest of them. You have this idea of a wait list. You need that. You have the idea of a soft commitment. We support that. And then sometimes if you're doing some very complex, you can actually require a KYC, know your customer. So they have to upload some security. They have to upload some KYC documents. There is the NDA. Let's say you're doing a very secret construction project and you don't want your competitors to know about what you plan for the construction. Then anyone that ever look at your offering needs to sign an NDA before they can look at the rest of the documents. So it's all the same feature. It's just that if you're raising your first million, you don't really need all of this. All right, so let's talk about, okay, so that is on the syndication side, investor portal. So let me just put this link again here. Okay, if you want to know more, absolutely just go ahead and schedule a call to talk more about the investor portal, because there are distributions. Just so you know, for distributions, there is the calculation of money, then there is the transfer of money. We do both. The calculation of money is you set up the waterfall and then you have this amount to distribute and the software automatically calculates who is getting what. The transfer of money is you click a button such as this. Give me 1 second. You click a button right here, and then you literally just say send ACH distribution. if I click pay now, this will actually withdraw $39,000 from my Chase account and then pay it to my investors. If they have an IRA custodian, it will also send the money to the IRA custodian, and you will also send the custodian an email saying that, hey, so and so just received this amount. This is the account number. This is the title, and this is the amount. Please reconcile on your end, because the custodians get all kinds of distributions all the time, and they need to like be able to reconcile which one is which. Yeah, cool. Someone said about the NDA. So NDA is on the offering level. So if you have an offering, let's say it's a new construction, and then there is a very very valid way of building permits and so on. And these are kind of trade secrets, and you don't want people to know. Then you can put an NDA on the offering such that people can still get access to the link if they have the link. But in order to see any sensitive information, they need to sign a non-disclosure form before they can see the doc. So that's what NDA is. All right. So that's the investor portal. I want to talk about two more things. I know we only have 20 minutes left. So we can decide. We can talk about underwriting, or we can talk about Palace investing. Which one would you like to choose?
Put it in the chat what you guys want to hear about. Is it other underwriting or Palace?
Okay. People want to talk about first is Palace. Oh wow, everyone wants to talk about Palace. All right, cool. The only bad part about Palace is that nobody knows how to pronounce it. So let's get that out of the way. Palace is named after Goddess Athena, which is the great goddess of wisdom, strength, and independent thinking. And we believe these are essential traits to investors. That's the only complicated part about Palace. Everything else is self-explanatory. The way it works is that it's like LinkedIn, that you can connect with other LPs and GPs. It's 100% free to get started. The way, and then you can go in, create an account, and you can use your Cashflow Portal account if you have one. And let's look at it. You can find GPs, you can find LPs, and you can find deals. These are some LP favorites. So, and then these are the most responsive GPs, and then these are all GPs. You can see a lot of them are actually online right now. And these are all online GPs. And then some of them are online 2 hours ago and so on. So these people, almost by definition, all use Cashflow Portal. Because on Cashflow Portal, it's a click of a button to show your GP profile on Palace. So a lot of these GPs are in Texas, and you might know a lot of them. So let's click into some of these people. Let me click into View All, and then let me go into one of them. Let's say Granite Towers, okay? Granite Towers. So this is Granite Towers. They are focused in Dallas and Nashville. Their social media is right here. There are 47 connections, 24 followers. They can raise about 4 to 5 million. This, by the way, will not show to the LPs. If I'm a GP, this shows. Why is that important? This is important because if you are GP and GP need to know how much each people can raise. And you can self-disclose that, oh, I can raise 1 to 2 million. And so it's useful if you're trying to find other GPs to co-sponsor your deals. Similarly, you can find lead GPs that want to be a lead GP. Like if I hover over this, note only other featured GPs can see this number. We use this information for easier facilitation among GPs to collaborate. LPs do not care how much you can raise, and this number does not show. That's very important. Come down here, and then you can see that this person has 18 deals. This is their track record. This one is a 3.4x multiple over the course of 3 years, which translates into a 75% annualized return and a 48% IRR. This deal is a 3x multiple, which translated into a 65% IRR. These are amazing numbers. This one is not so good. It's only a 10% total return over the course of 2 years, which translates into a 7.6% IRR. They are honest. This is good. Access is a 1.8x multiple, which is a 41% IRR. This is a reputable GP. This is a good GP. So what can the LPs do? LP can be like, I can connect with them. LP can actually refer another LP to them. But remember, we talked about all the referrals and the CRM in the beginning of this video. All of that is tracked by Cashflow Portal CRM. So all of this now is integrated, right? You have a place you can get extra investors, and then it's tracked by your CRM. And this is why, like, regardless which CRM you use, don't use the Squarespace one. I don't know why I'm picking a Squarespace today, but don't pick it. Don't use that one. Just use anything else. So you can see this is the marketplace, which then are these returns self-integrated or from the CRM? These returns are going to be set up on Cashflow Portal. So you can actually set up this profile on Cashflow Portal. Once you're connected with them, then you can message them. So we have a built-in messenger, just like Facebook Messenger, and you can email them, message them there. And you can look at when you have a deal, you can also feature this deal directly on Palace. Okay, so you can see like this, which is really awesome, right? So there are like hundreds of deals at this point. And so you can also look at LPs. So these are all the LPs. So some of these are LPs. Some of them are also GPs, but basically this is like all the people that they are hanging out. So like 9 hours ago, 9 hours ago, and so on. So this is almost like a social network that allows you to find new GPs and LPs.
Here's a question. Are these returns self-integrated or from the CRM?
They are self-integrated. Basically, you have to put those in. Now, if you use Casual Portal for a lot of your other deals, like you're already using it, the way it works is the following. Just let me go here. Let me go to company profile. This is how you set it up. And by the way, it's the same demo link that I show above that you can just talk to our team on how to set this up on Palace. So you can see the overview, and then over here, track record. That's how you add the track record. If you already have deals on Casual Portal, you can sync those with your Casual Portal, and then you can add an intro video, you can add a summary, and then you can add your images, investments, insights, events, videos, podcasts. So you can add a lot of things. It's just like your LinkedIn profile. The difference between this and LinkedIn is the following. People are here to invest. People are not here to share like fancy videos of their kids and whatnot. People here to invest. This is an investing platform. So even though we have only 500 investors on Palace, people are serious. These are all accredited investors. Like 99% of them are accredited investors. Let me give you an example. Let me scroll down. Let me show you a good LP. What's a good LP? The first thing you want to do is go ahead and sign up and just connect with Eric. Eric is actually a GP. When you connect with him, you'll be added to their database and so on. Okay, but you can also message them and so on. So that's what's happening with Palace. All right, so a couple ways of getting in contact with me while I do this. So let me go into here. So you can schedule a call by just taking a quick, take this QR code and schedule a call. So I'll wait for like a couple minutes here. While that's going on, I would like to kind of explain about support and customer service. So we have 700 GPs. So far, we have 0% churn to any competitor. We have 100% retention, and a big reason of that is we really care about customer support. And so if you have any questions, you can reach out to us through email. If you are raising or if you are migrating one of your deals, or if you're like, oh, I need to set up my CRM, or I need to set up anything that involves a little bit more hands-on, then we will create a dedicated WhatsApp group for you. In that dedicated WhatsApp group, it's just for you, the customer, and any questions you ask can be specific to you. And then we usually respond within like 30 minutes, an hour, and then we solve the problem in less than 24 hours. If we couldn't solve the problem, we'll tell you a workaround, and then we take those all these questions very seriously. So support is 100% in our DNA. We care a lot about customer support. We're actually not that good with sales, but we are very, very good with support, customer support. Okay. Again, take a screenshot or take a QR code, and then you can schedule a demo that way. I think with 10 minutes left, I can chat a little bit more about Palace, or I can give a quick walkthrough of the underwriting. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's go through the underwriting. But I will back up what you were saying about customer service. I mean, my other experience with the Investor Portal was Syndication Pro, and it took them like 3 days just to read my email. And the response that I got was not for help. It was just to confirm that they received my email. And then it took even longer to actually get the help that I needed.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference.
So here is an example. This is a bad, headliner, but you can see here's the customer question. 32 minutes later, we responded. This is 26 minutes later, we responded. And then here is like the question is an investor made a mistake on an investor questionnaire. How does he correct it or start over? In 24 minutes, we don't just answer the question. We answer it in a way that's like, it's not like, hey, check out this link or whatever. It's just like, this is how you do it. Okay, this is as detailed of an answer in 24 minutes as you can get. And so that is something I'm actually very proud of it. All right, let's talk about underwriting. So with underwriting, this is a newer software. And I think this is really, really awesome. By the way, on Palace investing, the one thing you can do is just go ahead and sign up with Palace. It's 100% free, and it's really free. And the reason we made it free, by the way, is if you are a GP and you're like, oh, can Palace help me raise money? And the answer is you can raise precisely $0 from Palace right now. So far, 2.5 million have been invested through Palace, but it's really hard to convince anyone in the world to invest 50K with you if you just met. There's just no way. And so since you're not gonna raise that much money through Palace, it is free to join. It's just like a social network. And the reason we still do it is that we believe that once the community grows, you're more likely to raise money. And then we also believe that Casual Portal, we already charge for Casual Portal. And with Palace, you're more likely to use Casual Portal because there is the expectation you can raise a little bit extra through Palace. All right, so let's talk about underwriting. Okay, so let me just create a brand new deal just to show you the power of this underwriting. So I'm gonna do say North Haven Terrace again, and then I'm gonna use like here the presentation, and then this is a 32 million price, and then I'm gonna look at the edges to 800 Jerde. Everything populated. This is built in 1968. And then this is presentation demo. And then scroll down. Now I'm gonna click into this presentation. So I'm doing an underwriting of this property, right? And what do I have? Let me find the rent roll. So let me go into underwriting. And then let me go into rent roll. And then let me go to Resman. And then this is the underwriting I want to do. And so I'm gonna name this one Arturo. So I'm gonna open this up. This is my rent roll. This is a typical rent roll, looks like this. Okay, this is a rent roll. And then I'm going to download this thing. So at this point, I download this underwriting, this rent roll. I'm gonna upload the rent roll. Okay, so right here. So we automatically parse that this is Resman, and we also wanted this to create a unit mix out of the rent roll. Gonna upload it, and voila, everything gets parsed. If I click into it, you can see we already figure out the minimum rent, maximum rent, average 25 median. If you click into the units, this is the entire rent roll. 0118 is vacant. So let me double check the rent roll. Where is my rent roll? 0118 is vacant. It's at the top. Where is it? Yeah, this is a vacant unit. It's beautiful. Okay, so this with a click of a button at this point, the unit mix is calculated. Let me go into the closing cost. Go into the closing cost, and my original ship fee is a function of the loan amount. So it's 1% of the loan amount. Okay, so 1%. The buyer fee is maybe of the sell price, and that's 0.25% of the sell price. The mortgage fee is maybe is just a flat fee. It's like $50,000. And then there's the PPN, there's a bunch of stuff. I can fill that in later. That's my closing cost. Go into the CapEx. My interior upgrade, I expect to spend about $6,000. And I'm gonna renovate about 105 out of the 208 unit. My leasing office renovation is a $50,000 renovation, and I have a bunch of things. If I want to add a new item, go ahead, you can add a new item if you want to. Yeah, so far so good. On my finance, out of here, I have 680,000 of total rehab, but then out of that, I'm gonna do $500,000 of its unfinanced rehab, and everything else is 500,000 is financed, and the other ones are not financed. So at this point, I fill up all this interest rate. You can change it, but we put in some decent numbers to begin with. T12. Why is T12 important? Because right now the income is all empty, right? Because all of this is income, like all of this T12 income is empty. The pro forma is empty. If you look at the expenses, the template expenses, the T12 is empty and the pro forma is empty. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in here. I am going to search for this T12, and I'm gonna find Resman, and I'm gonna rename this thing into presentation like that. I'm gonna download this thing, and I'm gonna open this one up. So this is the T12. This is a very typical T12. Looks like this. All right, so now let me go to T12, upload this T12, and then drag and drop that T12 over. Is this the T12? Yes, that's my T12. Go ahead and save it. And then bingo, it's uploaded. So all of a sudden, we will parse the income from your T12. Bingo, this is your T12. This is the T12. Pest control, apparently right here, this is 273,000 for November 2022. So if I look at this thing, 273,982.7. That's correct. This one is 267,993. This is 267,993. Bingo. So that's all correct. If I look at the other income, apparently trash revenue is 35,000. If I scroll down here, if I come in here, where is it? This other income, trash revenue is 35,938. 35,938. So this is that, right? So this is all yes, yeah, right? Cool. So this is the T12 for the income. All the expenses are also pre-populated. Contract services, utilities, repairs, payroll, general admin, and so on. The reason you always gonna end up with contract services, utility, this is the predefined category. Your actual T12 are going to have all kinds of different categories. For example, there's a thing called turnover costs. There's a thing called grants. but there's no grounds here. Okay, it's all we classify it as repairs and maintenance. And then your question is, how the hell do you do that? We use ChatGPT to classify these expenses. We know that grounds is part of repairs and maintenance. And if we couldn't figure out, we will automatically figure out the next time. So the first time it may not work, but then the second time we'll figure it out. Does that make sense? And so all of a sudden, your expenses are now pre-populated. Now, if you go to the modeling, coming here, and then bingo, how much time did I just spend? I literally spent less than 5 minutes, and I have a pretty good underwriting at this point. So we really believe that this is gonna be a very, very cool underwriting tool going forward. And now there's a lot more stuff that we can add and so on. But go ahead.
There's a quick question before Barbara. Is there support for, or I guess I'm sorry, this is from Barbara. You want to go ahead and ask your question? Go ahead, Liz.
So if there's a parser or if there's a T12 upload failure for whatever reason with the parser, just like if the document, comes bad from the broker or things like that, is there support for the parser failure?
We have to, yeah. And that is something we will keep iterating on.
Okay.
So, we are showing this to a few beta users, and this has been worked on for the last 12 months. And the people that work on it are super, super good engineers. They represented their country, Thailand, in International Math Olympiad. So this is like some really, really good engineer working on this for literally like a year. And every time when we show it to people, they show us something cool. They upload something we could never parse, and we're like, okay, we need to go fix it. And so this is gonna be a continuous iteration. If we couldn't figure something out, we'll get notified, and then we will reach out and say, hey, we fixed it, and then 24 hours you can try again.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially to build a T12 parser. I mean, that's just like a engineering feat. That's amazing. Love to see it.
That's right. Yeah. And so if you see our directory here, we have all kinds of parsers for every kind of large property management software companies. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So that's the modeling. And then you can say, if I want to do 80-20 split as a management fee, you can also enter that, and then you will take care of the model. The next steps on the underwriting is there should be a button that can create an LOI with a click of a button. There should be ability to export that into a PDF. Oh, by the way, you can export this into a spreadsheet. So you can actually export this entire underwriting into a spreadsheet, and then you can just open up this spreadsheet, and then that has all the underwriting. That's easy. But then what happens if you want to export to charts and graphs and presentations? Our dream, going back to this very, very part, like the very thing I said in the beginning, is we want to be a all-in-one solution for alternative investing. We want to be the Microsoft of real estate investing, right? Alternative investing. And towards that end, everything is tied together. The vision is you have a CRM that you can use lead capture form to capture investors' leads, prospective investors that integrate with your website. Once they come in, you add notes, you send emails, you send drip campaigns. Once you have a deal, you will use our investor portal to get them to sign documents. Then afterwards, you can do asset management. You can put in KPIs, you can put in waterfalls, you can distribute money, you can share your K1s. Then at the same time, if you find a deal that you are interested in, you will do the underwriting on it with our software. You can export it to a spreadsheet if you want to. And then once you like a deal, you can click a button to generate the LOI. And once you have the deal ready, that's where it gets really powerful. Because you already put in the business plan, right? There's nothing preventing us from saying, ChatGPT, why don't you write my marketing email using my business plan, since I already put it into my underwriting. And then ChatGPT will write a paragraph like, oh, we plan to make the leasing office da-da-da. Like that's how it works. There's no reason that with a click of a button, it couldn't generate your webinar deck with all the charts and the graphs and sensitivity analysis. There's no reason with a click of a button, it couldn't write the script for your webinar presentation. So all of this now is coming together. At the same time, you have this Palestine, which is a different website going on where you are constantly getting new investors coming in, right? So that's kind of the virtuous cycle that we're trying to create. Yeah, so.
Amazing.
Cool, awesome, thank you. Sweet. I think we are at time. We are definitely over, and thanks for sticking until the end. I think, yeah, I will just open up for more questions, and then otherwise we're good. Any questions or comments?
What's the cost on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that. So then we could talk about pricing. So we have two parts. There's the investor portal. So it's 100% free to actually create an account, because if you're raising $0, and then that's $0 a month, right? So there's that. And so when you're trying to raise your very first million, it's 149. Then if you're raising the second million, for a total of 2 million funds under management, is 199. We only care about how much money you intend to raise. And so you have unlimited investors, unlimited K1s, unlimited co-sponsors, ACH funding, ACH distributions are all free. They're all included. This is a one price. You also have your customizable branding, your personal homepage, etc. So let's say you end up raising 5 million. That's $300 a month. If you're raising 10 million, it's about 450. So it starts at 149 and it increases sub-linearly from that point up. So it's pretty inexpensive. If you say raising 10 million, then you're paying about 450 a month. Then that's about $6,000 a year. And then hopefully you hold that for about 3 to 5 years. So it could add up over the course of the lifespan of that deal, right? Because you're also using it for asset management. So that's the investor portal. On the marketing CRM, with our free marketing CRM, you have basically all of this. You have tags, notes, template, reminders, email scheduling, send emails. You can send about 200 monthly. Note that the investor updates are actually included in the portal. They are not marketing. They are just transactional emails. Unlimited monthly updates. Marketing emails, we limit it to 200. It's free. Now, if you also want to pay for the startup version of the marketing CRM, then it's $39, just like any other CRM. MailChimp, HubSpot, High Level, and anything is about $39 a month. So that's that. And that gives you 5,000 marketing emails. And then it also includes drip campaign and white glove migration. I hope that makes sense. So you can sign up for investor portal without using the marketing email because you can use a different CRM. But if you want to send marketing emails through it, you also get free for 200. But then if you want to send more than 200, like 5,000, that's a lot, by the way, then it's $39. For comparison, MailChimp is like 49 or 59 a month, as a comparison. I think that's pretty much it. And yeah, the price is 100% reasonable. I feel like the reason we charge it this way, for the record, is typical software. And the reason we built this company in the very first place is a typical company works this. They say it is $700 a month. And then you have $20 million of funds under management up to that. But if you're raising your very first million, too bad, it's also $700 a month. But you have $20 million to work with. So good luck. So you just basically, the only way you can get started, get to $20 million first. Whereas we can say, even if you raise your very first million, it's 149. We can get started with 1 million. And then if you never raise that 5, 10 million, we just don't charge any extra. Easy for people to get started.